Hi. Hi, Pisces. This is Gina. Thank you for joining me for this astrology chat live for March 2nd, 2025. I just finished recording your March horoscope, and that will go up later today. I have two different parts of my channel. I have my horoscopes that I do each month, and then also um, this daily astrology chat that I do live each day. We often talk about the current astrology, maybe one transit in particular, or sometimes just astrology in general. And right now, this month, I thought I would sort of combine the two. There is just so much happening in the current astrology in February, March, and April that I just took one spin through all 12 signs to meet with each of you to just have sort of a conversation about the current astrology, to go with the horoscopes in a little bit more of a casual way. So, if you have any questions or comments, please share them in the chat if you're live, or in the comments if you're joining later, and I will respond uh, and get back to you. I love to hear how this is going for everyone. It is such exciting astrology. And you might notice kind of right off the bat, Pisces, that there's an awful lot happening in your first house. Let's kind of let's get a little closer. Let's zero in on this part of the chart. Actually, yeah, I'm going to magnify it for us so we can really get a look at all of these Pisces planets. Okay, so first house Pisces, that's how we know this is a chart for you. So that ascendant isn't anything to worry about, to talk about. That's just because it's your chart, Pisces in the first house. We have the sun right now in Pisces. The moon was just here the other day for our new moon. We also have Saturn, the North Node, Mercury, and Neptune. And we have sort of a big conjunction happening right now at the very end of Pisces. So this is one part of the story happening for sure. There's actually some other really important energies going on in the chart that I might have gone to first, but I feel like for you, with this being your first house especially, we kind of have to start here. You know, it's such a wonderful time with the North Node moving through Pisces for you to really embrace the best vibrations, the highest sides of your Pisces nature, to move toward the spiritual. No one is more spiritual than Pisces. No one is more connected to the divine than Pisces energy. Um, this is an amazing time to allow yourself to kind of be your energetically absorbent self, to allow yourself to be the dreamer that you are, to allow for even just simple things like the enjoyment of water that you most likely have. You might be someone who likes to take baths, or you have a favorite walking place that's near water. Anything that you do that honors those Pisces sides of your nature, which, if you're here watching this video, you know something about the Pisces side of your nature, or about Pisces in general. You have some ideas about, for you, what the highest side of that nature looks like. You know, is it your ability to be compassionate with others? You want to lean in these directions. Pisces can be so so able to understand and take on whatever it's around. You know, you can really meet people where they are like no other sign. You can be creative like no other sign. You can avoid conflict like no other sign. And sometimes that could be a negative thing, but it could also be a very positive thing. You know, you want that harmony. And I think you've been working quite hard on yourself lately, Pisces, with all of these planets here. But I'm especially thinking about Saturn, which has been working through this house and sign for over a year and a half at this point. And so, you've been doing a lot of work where your identity is concerned, making sure that you're showing up as the person you are now, not the person you used to be, the person other people expect you to be, you know, really allowing yourself to be who you are, and to at the same time be dreaming of that next best person that you're working to become. So all of that may be a little extra right now with so much energy in this house and sign. And I have to say that this is a theme that goes on for a while. This isn't where it ends. There is a lot of activity in this part of the chart. Let me actually get rid of this and change our visual here for a second and focus in on, basically I want to look at Aries and Pisces. So let me just kind of circle that whole, now we're looking at two sectors of the chart, right? Because you can see that that pile up that's happening here in Pisces, it really isn't just a Pisces pile up. It's Pisces and Aries. As a matter of fact, thinking about planets sort of all together, you may have heard a couple of days ago about a bunch of planets being visible in the sky, and that's right here. That's exactly this lineup that we're looking at right here. And it was especially prevalent during the new moon because both of the luminaries, the sun and the moon, were here. The chart progresses like this. The sun and the moon were setting, and then right behind it were all these planets all lined up. So what's remarkable about this astrologically is that not only do we have a lot of planets moving back and forth between two signs, but they're going between Pisces and Aries. So it's the end of the zodiac and the beginning of the zodiac. It's endings and it's beginnings. It is rebirth, renewal energies for all the planets making that transition. And there's so many of them. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Live. We're live. There's so many of them doing it at the same time that it's like, whoa, renewal energy. And we have multiple planets doing it several times because Venus and Mercury are going to go retrograde in Aries. Well, first they'll cross over into Aries. Venus already did. Mercury will soon. That's one renewal, right? One end of the zodiac into the next. But then they're going to go retrograde and they're going to go back over that point so that then when they go direct, they have to go over it again. So it's outer planets, it's inner planets. Neptune at the end of March is moving into Aries, but also will go retrograde later and go back into Pisces, which isn't unusual, but Neptune changing signs is unusual, and Neptune wrapping up the zodiac and moving into Aries is incredibly special. So we're all going through a lot of change right now. And like I said, leaning into those highest sides of your Pisces energy, whatever that looks like for you, is a wonderful thing to be doing right now. Getting a little rest is a wonderful thing to be doing right now, because there could be a lot more busyness coming. You know, I think March really does look super active and interesting. It's unusual astrology, to say the least. And all these endings and beginnings, all this renewal, it's not just a change of energy, you know, it's a whole new process beginning. So this is a great time to be open to that. And you're the kind of person who is. We are now in a Venus retrograde. Venus has gone retrograde here at 10 degrees of Aries. And so you may be feeling that a little bit now. Have there been Venus related themes starting to come to your mind? Themes related to, especially for you, potentially Pisces, money could be a part of this because it's in your second house, which relates to your earnings. And I did talk about this in your March horoscope as well, but I think there could be something for you about assessing, you know, what you're worth and whether or not you're really being paid for, if your time is really being compensated fairly. You may find the voice to advocate for yourself in a way that you haven't, I think Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde at the same time in your second house, Aries ruled. It's so sort of bold when it comes to expressing your value. And that could be a very direct thing, like talking about the financial piece, or it could be something else, standing up for how valuable your time is, how valuable your peace is. These themes could really be coming to the surface to you now and throughout the month of March. Right now, you might just find that certain new ideas are coming to your mind when it comes to love and relationships or finances or aesthetics, the way things look. That's Venus ruled as well. Creativity, art, and music. You could be sparking some new ideas right now that you'll be working on during this Venus retrograde. Sometimes you hear that we shouldn't take action during Venus retrograde, and I don't agree with that. I think it's good to be aware and maybe not to make any decisions that are incredibly spontaneous and new and unchecked that are like incredibly permanent. So for example, I think it's okay to take a relationship that's already going well to another level, but I wouldn't meet someone and commit to them during a Venus retrograde all at once. That would be moving a little too quickly, because sometimes you feel differently about things once the Venus retrograde is over. And so you just want to kind of make sure you know how everything feels without Venus being retrograde before making big decisions. But it's a real potential to heal things in relationships. And that's why sometimes, Venus retrograde can be associated with breakups and things like that, because it calls problems to the surface. But problems being called to the surface is also an opportunity to make things better. And if you're not really having any problems and there aren't really any problems to call to the surface, then it's not an issue for you either. For you, it's so much of this is going to be happening in your first house that I almost think for you it's about a relationship to yourself, potentially, Pisces. That's what you're really working on. And I think there's some really beautiful healing potential there, because Pisces, Venus loves being in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces. And so furthering that story of just like seeing your own value, your own self-worth, being able to advocate for yourself in a way that feels really right and deserving, And we have Mars direct now here in Cancer. You may have some new creative energy happening right now. You may be having some good fun. The fifth house rules fun and leisure. I think having Mars direct here rather than retrograde is a positive thing. You may be feeling a little bit more able to just relax and enjoy yourself. A little bit more confidence and energy and motivation for fun. Does that make sense? Do we have to be motivated to have fun? In a way, you have to be a little bit motivated to choose the most beneficial activities. When we're worn out, we turn to easy comforts and entertainment. But when we are a little more relaxed and a little more cared for, a little more rested, like hopefully you are with all this happening in Pisces, and now with Mars direct, maybe it indicates that there's a different energy for doing those things that really bring you enjoyment. Whether it's, a walk in nature, going to the gym, or cooking a really delicious meal from scratch, putting a little more effort into your fun and therefore getting more out of it. And I think that continues to be true for quite a while. Mars is still getting going here at this 17-degree point. He's been there for such a long time. So, yeah, I will attach your March video here, and I don't see anything in the chat. I hope you have a wonderful March, a wonderful, exciting astrological time, and it really is these months, February, March, and April, whether you're tuning into my channel or someone else's, stay plugged in